Alif, Lam, Mim. The disjointed letters are the Qur'an's signature. Before it tells you a single story, it shows you its hand, that it will give and withhold from the same source, that reserve is not deficiency but design, and that the response to the unresolved is recitation and trust. People look for the miracle of the Qur'an in embryology, iron, astronomy, prophecy. But those are branches. The root is somewhere else. The miracle is not only what Allah revealed, it is in what He chose not to reveal. The Qur'an names iron descending and refuses the astrophysics. It names the stages of the embryo and refuses the textbook. It names the expanding heaven, refuses the cosmology. It names Pharaoh and refuses his name. It names Noah's son in the flood and refuses his name. It names the conscious soul, refuses to dissect it. Again and again, the text approaches the moment of specification and turns away. These are not gaps. They are architecture. Allah reveals exactly what is needed and withholds exactly what must remain open. A human document names every figure, fixes every age, date, and chains itself to 1 century. The Quran names only what universalizes the lesson and withholds what would lock it in one age and dimension. The unnamed Pharaoh becomes every tyrant. The unnamed son becomes every rebellious child. Adam's unnamed wife becomes every spouse, her story every marriage. The unnamed mechanism becomes room for every century's discovery to sit in the same verse. This is why the same words reach the child, the activist, the ruler, the scientist, and the mystic. The child hears Moses against Pharaoh. The activist hears truth against power. The ruler hears responsibility against arrogance. The mystic hears a soul confronting its ego. The words do not change. The scale changes. Some authors are afraid to specify. They cannot know which detail will embarrass under a future microscope, which name will fall under a future excavation, which mechanism the next century will revise. So they retreat into vagueness and commit to nothing. Others overspecify and date themselves the moment the ink dries. The Quran does neither. It gives exactly enough to commit and leaves open exactly what must remain. And it sustains that discipline across 23 years of revelation, through persecution and victory, through weakness and power, without once breaking pattern. That is not the restraint of a man. That is divine calibration. A finite text generating unbounded meaning. A revelation holding the deeper reality where every age's knowledge finds its place. So return to where it began. Alif, Lam, Mim. The most withheld thing in the book and the most freely given. And both are made of the same 3 letters. What is sealed from you and what is handed to you are composed of one alphabet. The difference was never in the letters. It was in the one who arranged them. The miracle is not only what Allah said, the architecture is what He did not.